Go round like a circle. Get roasted by my roasters. Get wrecked by my lawyer. Get wrecked by everyone in the world. Get wrecked by families that you never seen before. Why don't you go and get yourself wrecked and get it lost forever, so no one can see you again. Why don't you get lost? Why don't you get lost? Lost. Why don't you get lost in the forest where Slenderman is? Even if it's a fairy tale, I really don't care. I really hate you. You are dumb. You know nothing. Why don't you go back to grade 1 in hell? Why don't you go and get yourself wrecked by a polar bear? Why don't you go and get lost in the woods by the wolves that are hungry just for you? They wanna eat you up alive. They never loved you. They never liked you. They always hated people and they really did not care. Why don't you get fed by the polar bear? Why don't you get fed by the reindeers? Why don't you get wrecked by Santa Claus? Why don't you get lost? Boom, boom, boom. Why don't you get lost? Why don't you go away? Get out of yourself alive. Why don't you get yourself alive? Oh, you are so dumb. If you're so dumb, why don't you just go ahead, go up to glass and just punch it like hell, like you never ever wanted to? I really didn't care. Why don't you get lost? Why don't you smash glass on your head? Why don't you break ice with your hand so you can break your hand, so you have cuts in your hand? I really don't care if you have a laser beam watch, a laser beam glove, a laser beam circle. Why don't you go get lost? Why don't you go up to polar bear and say, eat me alive, eat me alive? I don't care what you really do choose. Why don't you get lost? Like, you're so good looking boy, so good looking boy. Why don't you get lost, good looking boy? Yeah, so why don't you get wrecked by your mama's face? Why don't you go home? Why don't you go home, little boy? You are so dumb that you broke glass with your face. So gay looking boy, as a golden looking boy, you really bad looking boy. Why don't you get a sniper rifle, good looking boy? Why don't you snap yourself in the head, good looking boy? I can't even say it with a straight face, looking boy. I really don't care what you really look like, looking boy. So why don't you get lost, looking boy? Why don't you just go on top of a tree, fall down, looking boy? So you died, looking boy. No one really cared about you. No one loved you. So why don't you get lost? Why don't you get lost like hell, looking boy? Hey, looking boy, how's it going, looking boy? Why don't you go down to hell so he can kill you all over again, good looking boy? Why don't you shut up?